Alright, hey everyone, it is I guess it's been a little while since I put up a video because, was just off doing my own thing on the weekend, having a nice time, and really there wasn't too much to talk about in Wotv. Wasn't doing any predictions because, we're down here on JP, finishing the 2.5 anniversary, Final Fantasy 13, and Tactics is in swing, but there isn't really too much new going on. So, letting people rest and relax, and I think Global has also needed a little bit of downtime. Obviously, Leela coming out has been a big moment for some people, and a painful pity for others, but I digress. The point is that this week on on JP and Global, we got some news. We got some news on the same day, and we're just going to start with Global news this week. And starting with Global, on a high point is the fact that you guys are getting your first of the new free units. Introduction to the game recently on JP was the introduction of brand new SSR tier units that are, new additions to the game. And first of all, off is Cyrez. And as you can see, what did they end up? Cyrel, sorry. I guess that was a change between the versions. And Cyrel, as you can see, I've pretty much gotten there. I think I held off for a couple of reasons. One, the amount of resources I potentially needed to spend. Wasn't really sure if I wanted to spend it on her, depending on what new units were coming in the future. But a great little physical unit, and actually potentially maybe even good enough to run on a PvE team, because she's pretty powerful with different key abilities. You can cast some nice stuff, but she's a free unit. Essentially, you play her event, you do some farming, and you'll end up getting enough shards to get her all the way up into EX without really spending too much, which is great. There's nothing bad to say about Cyrel, and I think Globalers are going to be really happy in the introduction of these free units, because it also will help some players who maybe are struggling with older, what's it called? God damn it, just slipped my mind. Selection quests, of course. So yeah, there isn't really anything too much to say, and before I continue anymore, yes, my hair's wet. I just got out of the shower. Don't worry about it, it's fine. Now, that being said, there is slightly more worrying thing coming this week to JP, which is, of course, Anima. Anima is a really strong summon and a really strong vision card, and I don't really think I need to talk about it, but the Esper is fantastic, and so is the vision card that it comes with. It really is an incredibly strong vision card. My vision card, I only ended up getting about like a week or so ago when the 2.5 anniversary came around, just because I was able to get it through a select vision card banner, which was, it's as nice as it sounds. Select vision card banners are just way better than spending 40,000 Lapis to potentially guarantee one of these vision cards early. And as you can see, this isn't even finished my vision card yet, but it is so high statted. You look at a high amount of HP, AP, attack, dexterity, quickness, and agility, and luck too. This is the vision card that pushes Dark, being very strong because you have slash resistance, piercing rate, you have dark attack up, you have unit attack up, you have a dark attack up on the individual unit, slash attack up, and HP up. This vision card goes a long way to giving what a lot of Dark fans are looking for. If you look at just adding this to Joker, if you look at adding it to Leela, it's very clearly for the people who are willing to spend, and or potentially the people who just luck out. Of course, you guys, there's always a chance, but the chance isn't super good on a 90 cost vision card. So this is what I would say. The logical, smart thing to do, regardless of how many Dark characters you have, is to just wait in the future for a selection card. You can almost guarantee that there'll be one with the 2.5 anniversary for 2k paid. It's way cheaper, way more effort, and the Dark characters are strong enough to do, a good amount of work until you can get this vision card much easier. And in terms of slash and Dark elemental espers, I don't think that you're really hurting for it, unless you are brand new, but I still wouldn't recommend this. if you're dead set on it, getting the vision card and getting it maxed is incredibly great. It's a incredibly strong vision card that will power the dark element well into the future, and a great little Esper to boot on it. Alright, that's all I have to say anymore about that. Now I wish I didn't have to talk anymore about 90 cost vision cards, but you can probably already see where this is going, also from the title card. So next up, we got a story chapter being added to JP. Not too much to say here. It's a story chapter. It's got Lapis in it. Yay. This is the kind of surprise. So basically it was fairly obvious, given last month, that we were going to see a new Esper and Vision card for the Wind element, but as it turns out, it's not simply the Wind element. Say hello to the next of the Chaos Odin cards, where the Anima Vision card is only for the Dark element. We actually have our next multi-elemental card. And honestly, I'm happy to see multi-elemental cards. Multi-element cards will potentially open the future for new teams, for people to not have to be so specific for one element or the other. I mean, like, all we need is multi-elemental chaining, and it would just be such a kind of breath of fresh air on this one. So yeah, I mean, this is particularly really quite nice to see in for a couple of reasons. I mean, like, we've talked about this before, that wind and fire are two elements that probably needed the most help in terms of new characters and new Espers, and basically it just needed it. Now I assume that Dark Tetrasylphid is going to be specifically a wind elemental Esper. Just based on when she is coming out, I assume that she will be dark or wind elemental. Like, her attack is already wind, so that basically tells me that she's going to be for wind. I don't think that she'll be both for wind and fire. I think this is just Glacie's summon, which is kind of interesting because Glacie is the least dark chaos character that I can think of in Wotv. As a matter of fact, she's kind of just generally, nice and just, maybe I shouldn't speak too much about it. Maybe she's going to turn into an asshole soon. But this, I don't know. I would have been much happier seeing one of the 12 elemental costs, or the 12 chamber of weapons, or chambers of equipment espers from Brave Exvius. This feels extraneous and unnecessary to put on this week. It kind of maybe should have just been a different thing, but I don't know. Getting too lost on a tangent, this vision card is for fire and wind, and it will help fire and wind considerably. On the unit, it's getting area resistance as well as attack resistance. On the party, it's getting physical human killer and missile resistance. Maxing it out will give single resistance too. So honestly, this fixes a lot of what the wind element and the fire element has been missing in terms of physical damage, not magical damage. Like, if you just look at it, it's a nice little vision card for a brawly style physical character, either in fire or the wind element will really like this. So you could throw this on Mont, you could throw this on Setia, you could throw this on just a ton of different fire physical characters, ton of wind physical characters. The fact that maxing the card out also gives you single target resistance gives a alternative to the Tifa card, which is kind of nice because it's limited and whatnot. The physical human killer is finally a just general damage up boost for fire, which will help bring, ice elemental parties under control if they get too far out of control. And it's just a strong physical damage booster for characters like, Joom or Glacie or range characters or anything, and you're also getting missile resistance. Overall, I think that this vision card is a really nice mix of both offense and potentially some defensive stuff to keep characters alive. I mean, I don't think it will be as good in terms of single target resistance as potentially the other one, as the Tifa card, but I still think it's going to be notable enough to make it essential for 2 elements and 2 elements that really need it. It is a little bit sad that it isn't going to be powering up too much the magic side of either of these elements. Fire has some decently good fire magic characters. It's kind of split down the middle right now. As for wind with physical, I mean, Joom exists, Tifa exists, Tubi exists, and new Glacie exists, and who's that other character? The one with the quad shot. You can probably fill it in. But all jokes aside, there's a lot that this vision card does for the wind element to make it much stronger, and it's nice to see fire getting in like kind of side boost, and could mean that the next character we're going to see this month is a fire elemental character. And last but not least, Tetra does give stop resistance, which could be really important for the future. And that will be the last vision card bonus for this. In all fairness, I think that you look at just generally how powerful this is potentially going to be, and I think it's going to be very, very strong for a lot of reasons. It's in 2 elements that have needed a boost, which is great news for those 2 elements. But I'm not a fan of 90 cost vision cards. They're just too expensive to pull at the start. Regardless of how good the bonus is to get early, I think it's just way better to wait these out for a potential select banner in the future. 2k paid is much cheaper than 40k Lapis because, yeah. And haven't seen the banners yet, and I don't think they were going to get it. Nope, didn't even crash the game. But yeah. Dark Tetra Cell Feed, I mean, the part of me, me right now who has new Glacie and has been potentially looking for a boost for Satya, all of this is really great to be very, very tempting, but I think I'm going to listen to this brain about how much smarter it is to just not do anything really dumb and just go straight in spending a ton, than rather listening to the brain in my butt that tells me just get it early, and money doesn't matter, because that's just wrong. Anyway, let me know what you think. Double 90 cost vision cards on both sides on the same week. The 2 versions. Woof. Anyway, see ya.